Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast. This is our week 11 best bets episode for our season long contest. As always, you guys will get our 5 best bets of the week against the spread. Before we get into those picks, I must bring on my co-host, my right-hand man, my dude, loser of the podcast rival matchup. Now, what's going on, bum?
Fuck you, bitch. No, man. No, it was a really good game. It was a really good game up to the fourth quarter. Momentum definitely changing that game. I actually liked. I ain't gonna lie to you. I actually kind of enjoyed it. Enjoyed the fact there was defense being played. I was really worried that our defense was gonna get shit on, but they stood tall for how long they could. Just momentum changed. Y'all got a hold of it. Hey, man, y'all the kings for right now. But wait till y'all spin that block to DC. We show y'all we about.
Yeah, we're gonna ride this high horse for a few weeks until we see. Was it December 1st?
Yeah.
I think we play you guys first week of December.
Yep.
That's gonna be another great game. I look forward to that one too. Round 2 of the matchup will be just as much of a thriller. We're not gonna dilly dally anymore, Dino. We got 5 picks to get into. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Leading us off for the contest, we have potentially the ugliest team on the board. No, it's not the Titans. It is actually worse. It's the Las Vegas Raiders plus 7.5 against Miami. We're going back to our roots, Donnell. We are taking the ugly dogs. We might be 1% of the 10% of people that are probably going to have the Raiders with money on them this week.
Right.
It's simple to me. We're going to get pressure on the quarterback. We've seen Tua over the last few weeks and his few starts. He's looked uncomfortable. And you kind of saw it, especially last week against the Rams. He just was not able to get any momentum. He kind of relied on a couple deep bombs to Jalen Waddle early in the game to, get those early points. Rams miss a field goal, change the complexity of the game, and they end up winning. So, this is going to be an interesting spot because not only do we have Max Crosby, who's got 6.5 sacks, he's going to be getting pressure on the quarterback, but you have Christian Wilkins, who's facing his former team and the team that did not want to pay him. So, a little bit of that emotional edge there. I mean, we kind of saw it last week with a lot of these teams matching up, and even Thursday night, Zach Ertz getting on the board against the Eagles. In the personal element of human interaction and football, it's a real thing. Like, these guys are going to get up. They're going to be more emotional for games that mean more to them, like regardless if it's a regular season or not. So I expect the Raiders to not shut down the run, but to slow it down. And surprisingly, Raiders are top 10 against the pass. And maybe it's because a lot of teams get a lead and they just run the ball down their throat. But I feel like this game is going to be a lot closer than people think. We've got Gardner Minshew back starting. Like, Aiden O'Connell got kicked back to the curb. Antonio Pierce said, Gardner Minshew gives us our best chance and an opportunity to win. And I feel like these guys who kind of like get the second chance in their career to go back out and, rejuvenate themselves as he did with the Eagles and then the Colts and then the Raiders.
Yes,
he gets sent back down to the dumps, and he feel like he has to do that again. He's got to rejuvenate himself again. He knows he's got to go out there and have a good game if he wants to keep his job because he's on the latter part of his career. So I like the Raiders here, Donnell. Big number, ugly team. What else?
Hey, man, big number, ugly team. We finally put our nuts on the goddamn table for once this year. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like we get back to our element as far as that. We're also talking about a Miami Dolphins defense who got 4 sacks on Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford this past week, completely immobile. Really had to stay in the pocket. Very uncharacteristic of the Dolphins. They're one of the worst teams when it comes to pressure. I think they have I think he said 11 sacks, 14 sacks, something like that.
Yep.
16, yeah, it's around that range. Basically averaging 1 sack a game. So with that being said, Gardner Minshew coming back, being able to really show out that element, really he's going to be able to show out. And we're talking about a Dolphins team, like you said, man, it's just not comfortable yet. They're not comfortable whatsoever. I feel like I said, Tua had a couple, flashbacks. I think the Rams got 3 sacks on him last week. And it made him, like I said, very feel uncomfortable. I don't feel like he's really there yet. I don't feel like the offense has really found their rhythm yet. It really showed against the Rams defense. And honestly, like I said, I think the Rams are really going to struggle. This is going to be like a 20 to lately like a 20 to 13, 20 to 14 type game, somewhere within that realm.
Yeah, I think this game goes under, and you and I both say when we think a game goes under, we like the
Take the
dogs,
hot,
especially at a big number.
the math, man.
So
Quick math.
yeah. So we got Raiders 7.5. Let's move on to the second pick of the week, and we have the Chicago Bears at home plus 6.5 against the Green Bay Packers. Listen, I know the stats say it. I know the eye test shows it. Caleb Williams has not been great. He's not been great. But Dino made a good point before we started the podcast. They got rid of their offensive coordinator. We know historically when there's a change in coordinator or coach, historically they cover. We know we did it with when the Raiders fired Josh McDaniel or Dick McDaniels, whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah, no, that's McDaniels. Yeah.
Josh McDaniels, Antonio Pierce, first couple games he was covering. And I will say this. This game is going to come down to defense. If the Bears defense shows up, they're going to be okay, regardless of how bad Caleb Williams plays. I'm hoping with a fresh coordinator in there, they make a lot more simple play call, run the ball, quick, easy routes, nothing too extreme. Like let Caleb Williams get some momentum going, because I feel like time and time again, if you watch this Bears team, it's run, and then now it's third and long, and Caleb Williams is trying to, throw an out route between two defenders. And, we still have Keenan Allen, who's one of the best route runners in the game, and DJ Moore, who's one of the best explosive receivers. But if you're not giving these guys the element of surprise where, okay, it's first down or second down, if we're consistently just getting third and long and throwing it, the defense is just sitting back in coverage, and they're not giving them easy throws. So I hope they go out there and establish the pass early and use the run as a secondary. Like, let Caleb Williams get his feet under him and let him show that he can throw the ball, because if they keep going out there with this very boring systematic offense, they're not going to move the ball. But I think the Bears defense is going to be the reason why they stay in this game, as they have been the entire year. I don't expect that to change. Jordan Love, we know he likes to throw errant passes, and he's going to give an opportunity for the Bears to turn the ball over. So I think Jordan Love turns the ball over in the air. Hopefully we can get some pressure on the quarterback, keep this game close, but 6.5 for a divisional matchup, Dino, way too much.
Entirely too much. And we also have to understand too is Jordan Love's record as a starter really isn't that spectacular or great. These games have been either relatively close or he loses those close games. He's 13-12 as a starter, which is very surprising considering the fact that when you think of Jordan Love as the franchise quarterback, he's able to elevate his team past to two new heights and a different level. So at the end of the day, Jordan Love, like I said, has been very turnover prone this year, throwing errant passes, interceptions, as Jared brought up. And on top of that, you still got pressure coming on the outside here. I mean, you got Montez Sweat. You still got that D line up front, who honestly, I mean, causes and wrecks havoc throughout every game they played this year. To be honest with you, now in this situation here, like I said, if you can basically count on it. Jordan Love 1 to 2 interceptions. You can kind of basically count on that. I feel like the Bears defense kind of brings pressure, makes them feel uncomfortable. And honestly, like I said, plus 6.5 division game. Like I said, that's been basically a bread and butter play. We've always played it. That's been kind of like my mottos. That's easy math there. And let's just roll with it, man. 6.5 against Green Bay, and they're at home. Yeah, forget about it.
Yeah. So new coordinator, divisional matchup, big number. We're going to take it. No hesitation. The third pick of the week is a big favorite, Dino.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and let them know what it is.
Big favorite. You already know it. Mo City, Dan Campbell at home, 13.5 in Detroit, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have Mac Jones as their quarterback. We don't have to say much after that. What makes it worse is Tank Bigsby is not playing, so no running game, and Mac Jones probably won't get nowhere near 13 points. Lions should score 27-30 easy on his defense. Don't overthink it. Just kind of play it out loud. There's no starting quarterback, no starting running back.
Yeah, we got the Lions back home at a big number, rightfully so. Jared Goff in his career, after not covering, when he's at home, he is 9-2 with the Detroit Lions. So we already know Jared Goff is one of the most profitable quarterbacks to bet on because he does cover the spread. And we've seen historically over the last 2 seasons, these big numbers have been covered. The public has been killing it with the big spreads. I'm tired of being left out. I don't know how you feel about that, Donnell, but we're tired of being left out.
Yeah, of the party.
Yeah, we want to make some easy money too. So I just feel like this number is this big for a reason. Everything last week for the Jaguars went absolutely perfect for them, and they still just could not score the ball. Sam Darnold, 3 red zone turnovers. Shit, it might have been 4. I know it was at least 3, but I had to turn it off after watching that shit because I was getting a headache from it.
Yeah.
But 3 red zone turnovers, like what could have went wrong for the Vikings went wrong, and they still covered our contest line. So I expect Jared Goff to have a really good game. He just threw 4 interceptions with the 5th on a Hail Mary, but he threw a lot of bad passes last week. I think the Lions get back to the roots, run the ball heavy with their 2-headed monster, let Amon-Ra make big plays down the field. Jameson Williams back in the slot. He's going to be running free. And then Sam Laporte is out, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's out this week. Regardless, there's so many weapons on this Lions team where it's just next man up. So I really like this matchup here, especially at home after not covering, and a great comeback win. But that was probably the worst game the Lions have played since I think it was the Packers last Christmas.
And they still won.
When they just put up a goose egg. So I'll tell you what, give us the Lions in this big number at home any day of the week. Lions minus 13.5.
Shit, Penny Sewell might catch a touchdown pass, to be honest with you.
He might. Ben Johnson going to be showing off this game. Number 4. This is a system play. You guys should not be shocked. If you went to your game scoreboard, wherever it may be, and you're starting looking over the games for the week, and you get to this game, and you listen to this podcast regularly, you're going to say, I already know what they're on. No question about it. If you guessed the Steelers plus 3.5, you're absolutely right. The Steelers divisional matchup at home, Mike Tomlin as a dog against Lamar Jackson, they are successful. The Steelers have been, this year overperforming everybody's expectations. No ifs, ands, or buts. Russell Wilson actually is managing the game. He's got his moon ball down to George Pickens, and they're connecting a lot. They're connecting a scary amount. And we've seen George Pickens has just been that go get it, and I want it more type of receiver than anybody else, that he's all the corners that he's matching up against. And that's what the Steelers need. Jaylen Warren out of the backfield has been like, he's not gotten a lot of attention, but he's kind of been an X factor. Like, yeah, Najee Harris is running the ball decent this year, but if you actually go in there and watch Jaylen Warren play, he has had so many explosive runs, like 2nd and long, 3rd and long, where he's just getting to these extra first downs. He's great out of the backfield. And I just feel like teams don't really scheme for him because they're so worried about George Pickens going deep and Najee Harris running it up the middle and Pat Freiermuth just making like subtle plays that just it tacks on. And you have Chris Boswell, which is one of the most accurate field goal kickers in the NFL. He's just so money. If Russell Wilson gets them into field goal range, they're taking their points every time. And I'm going to revert back to this Ravens team when they played against the Browns. Well, I've got news for you guys. This Steelers defense is a lot better than the Browns. Not a lot better, but they are better than the Browns. They're better in the secondary. They get more consistent pressure, and because it's more than just Myles Garrett that you have to just worry about on the Browns. Well, TJ Watt's coming every single play. He is always beating his matchup. And Porter Jr. on the outside playing defense has been great. You still have Minkah Fitzpatrick back there who's roving over the field. So there's just a lot of defensive playmakers, and we know the Steelers are bread and butter is their defense. I think they slow Lamar Jackson down, and we know historically in this division, they usually split. I think the Steelers steal this game at home and maintain that divisional lead, Dino. I think the Steelers stay on top of that division after Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. And like I said, we can always bring up Lamar's record against the Steelers. He's 2-4 against the Steelers. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna gloat a little bit. I told y'all he wasn't washed. I tried to tell y'all he was not washed, but he is, like I said, him rediscovering his moonball, his mojo, and he's finally able to feel free. I feel like he's finally playing. He's free and he's playing football now. He doesn't have to worry about a grumpy old man on his back the whole goddamn time. So I feel like the culture there, the Steelers culture there, was a perfect fit for Russell Wilson to kind of resurrect his career, and he's showing it. George Pickens is a great, tremendous talent. They're hooking up on a different type level than than George Pickens has ever had. Honestly, Jordan Pickens had never had a quarterback like Russell Wilson able to go in the deep ball. Not even Justin Fields at that time. So I feel like this is basically in a position where Russell Wilson can expose a Ravens secondary who has been bad all year long. They have one of the best run defenses in the league. So Derrick Henry's going to have a hard time really getting yards. I'm not saying he won't get his, but they're gonna make it very, very tough. They bring it each and every time. This is a division matchup, and honestly, the fact that I'm getting a hook in one of the most classical division matchups in all of NFL history, it's boggling to me. I'm definitely taking 3.5 Steelers all day long.
Steelers at home, underdogs, 3 or more. I mean, there's nothing not to love about this spot. I'll tell you what. If we played Dino, if we were playing Duck Hodgins at 3.5 versus the Ravens, we got to take Russell Wilson at 3.5 against the Ravens.
Exactly.
No questions about it.
Exactly.
So give us the Steelers plus 3.5 at home versus the Ravens. Dino, we have one pick left. It's prime time. Why don't you go ahead and reveal our final pick of the week?
Prime time. Now, guys, this is our team, man. All right, this is really our team, and I feel like people might be surprised we're taking them because they've been struggling as of late, but. Who the fuck are you kidding? We're taking fucking Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals plus 1.5 against the LA Chargers. I'm gonna keep it calm, very kind of simple here. I don't think the LA Chargers are that great. Okay, they have been playing out of their mind. John Harbaugh has a different culture than a different scheme. The same way the Commanders are kind of going on a culture change right now, a run. But I think it gets stymied here with a tremendous offensive performance by Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I don't feel like the Chargers defense has played a competition like the Cincinnati Bengals when it comes to an offensive matchup. Joe Burrow's going to sling it all across the field as he always does. 3 touchdowns, honestly, is a lot. Is a lot for Joe Burrow, which is actually insane. He picks up great numbers each and every week. And honestly, I get the Chargers defense have been playing really, really good. I don't see them stopping this high-powered Bengals offense. Still, I still got faith in Joe Burrow. I know they're 4-6. They start slow. It doesn't look great. But I can tell you this right now, I can definitely see a bounce back win here. They're definitely going to go to 5-6, and honestly, just keep hopes alive. The one thing they will do, they're going to keep hope alive, and I think the Chargers come back to reality.
Yeah, you guys, everybody knows I'm big on this Bengals team, and I even doubled down on my Super Bowl futures. I got them at 50-1 today. I really like this team because their offense is just so good. And I don't expect them to slow down at all. I really like this team. Jamar Chase has just been a problem for every defender that they're going against. And T. Higgins is coming back this week. So, I mean, this is just more problems for this Chargers defense. And I am not sold on the Chargers. I am not sold on them at all. Justin Herbert has been having a couple really good games the last few weeks. And I'm not saying that's going to stop because this Bengals defense is poor, to say the least.
Yeah, they are.
But I will say this. If there's a will, there's a way, and the Bengals still have an opportunity to make the playoffs. It must start with this game. This is 100% do or die going forward. And if there is a chance that the Bengals can make the playoffs and they have to go balls to the walls every game, don't be surprised if I'm not backing them every single week until they finally lose and it's statistically impossible for them to make the playoffs. Because don't be shocked if the Bengals steal a spot and get into the playoffs. I guarantee you every single AFC team, including the Chiefs, including the Bills, one of the last teams they're going to want to play is the Bengals with the offense that just cannot be stopped. If they can not turn the ball over, because that's been the issue. The Bengals have been having leads in these games, and in the fourth quarter, they turn the ball over, whether it's Chase Brown or Joe Burrow throwing an interception, whatever it may be. If they can control the ball, they will win the game. And that's what it's going to come down to. If the Bengals can maintain possession of the ball against the Chargers, they are going to beat the Chargers. There's no way around it.
Hey, I think is T. Higgins coming back this week on top of that?
Yeah, I believe I saw this morning that T. Higgins is active and he's going to play. He is expected to play. So that's just another threat. Like Jamar Chase is going to be even more open now because they're not going to be able to double him as much as they want to because T. Higgins he's not as good as Jamar Chase, but he can be as deadly and as big of a threat. So that's our 5. Couple ugly, couple clean. We've got the Raiders plus 7.5, Bears plus 6.5, Lions minus 13.5, Steelers plus 3.5, and last but not least, the Bengals plus 1.5. Those are our 5 picks of the week. Dino, wrap it up.
Hey man, same message as every episode, Knuckleheads. Make sure you guys follow us on X at @ShredderSpread_ and follow me personally at Dyneezy. That's at DYNEEZY. Let's please, for the love of God, break this 2 and 3 curse. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I have faith in it. I feel like we put our nuts on the wall here. And I feel like this is the first time we've really done it so far this year. So got a lot of faith in this week.
Yeah, we were back to the ugly dogs, the divisional dogs, our favorite spots. Let's turn it around. 3 and 2 at worst. Let's break this curse. I know 3 and 2 at worst. I can smell a 4 and 1, and I can hear a 5 and 0.
I see the light.
Yeah, we're turning it around. I promise. Let's start this week. Got a couple ugly dogs and a big favorite. Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Shred the Spread podcast. We will be back next week for our Thursday night football edition. Until next episode. We'll see you.
Peace.